Okay, so let's continue with our Git series. And in the Git series, we are working on the GitHub actions. So let's first do a mm, revision, like what we have done till now. So we have covered like 7 workflow. So what first is the basic workflow. We see the syntax of the workflow. If someone has to write the workflow from scratch, how that person has to write, and the workflow file name should be either YML or YML. So the name of the workflow, run name on that is the event. Then we can write some jobs. Then we have the job name. Then we have the steps, and then we have the steps names. And then if we want to run your own script, then you can use run. If you want to use some third party actions, then you can use uses. Then we see the variables, how we can define the global variables, how we can define the job level variable, how we can define the step level variable, and how to access. So this is the method to access. Then we see how we can define the environment level variable, which means dev, queue, and the production. And how to access by defining the environment variable here. Then we see a couple of more GitHub actions which are very useful, like upload artifacts and then download artifacts we see. Then we see the expression status, which means sometimes like on the above job get failed. If the above job get failed, the next job will did not run. Not a job, but it's step. So or it could be job as well. But we want the next job will should run. Then we can like put some condition, if always, if success, if failed, or condition. Then we see the continue on error and the timeout operation. So continue on error means like if this step going to fail and we know the test is going to fail, but still we don't want to stop our workflow, then we can use continue on error. And timeout minutes, which means if we know or if we want that particular job should be completed within 10 minutes or 5 minutes, then we can set the timeout minute. If that particular job or that particular step is going to take more than that, then it will going to cancel automatically. So today we are going to see the further more options. One is the strategy metrics, and the fast fail. So what are those? So let's create a first file. Strategy matrix and fast fail dot YAML. Let me quickly copy paste some content. Okay, so I have copy paste the content. Let me change the workflow name. Okay, so what is the strategy matrix? So as an example, so what we are doing in this workflow, so we are doing some clone, git clone, or you can say checkout repository. Then we are setting up the Python 3.11 version. Then we are installing the dependency. Then we are running some test. But what I want is I want to run this test on Python version 3.9, on Python version 3.10, on Python version 3.11. So what I can do, one option is I can create like 3 jobs. One is maybe unit test hyphen 3.9 and copy paste everything. And then another job, unit test 3.10, then copy paste everything. And then 3.11, then copy paste. Then it will be very long job. So the other option is like we can use the strategy matrix. So strategy matrix is, if we see the definition here, a matrix strategy lets you to variable in a single job definition to create a multiple job. So instead of manually creating multiple jobs, you can use the strategy matrix. What it will do is use a matrix strategy to test your code in a multiple version or language. So whenever you want to run your code, let's suppose we are running on Ubuntu. So maybe we want this job should be run on Ubuntu as well, on Mac as well, on Windows as well. So one option is I can just copy paste this job and define another job and one more job, and I can mention run on window, and in the third job I can mention run on Mac. But that was the unnecessary repetition of the code. Same for like 3.9, 3.10, and 3.11. So what I can do is I can use the strategy matrix, a strategy matrix, and in which I can just define the version. So how we can do that? So it will be on the job level, because we want this job means all the step under that job should execute on 3.9, 3.10, and 3.11. So what I can do is, so strategy matrix. So you can see the syntax here, the strategy matrix, and then we can define the Python version. So this could be any variable, whatever variable you want to define. So I define Python variable, and on what version you want to test your code. So I want to test on 3.9, I want to test on 3.10, I want to test on 3.11. All right. So here, instead of 3.11, I can't hard code. What I want is I want this variable at this place. So what I can do is, and how to access the variable using dollar, right? Using this symbol. Okay. Now this variable is defined under matrix. So I can do matrix dot Python version. So now what it will do is it will automatically going to create a three jobs. So instead of manually copy pasting three times, just by writing this three lines of code, it is automatically going to run this job three times, and all the three jobs will run in parallel. So unit test will run on 3.9 version, unit test will run on 3.10 version, unit test will run on 3.11 version. So let's try to do that. I know this is going to fail, and I will tell you why it is going to fail. But let's try that. So let me go to the actions, and this is a workflow dispatch. So we need to manually trigger it. Run workflow. So anyhow, this is going to fail. Okay, the spelling of the strategy is wrong. So strategy. Okay, go to the actions, and we need to manually trigger it. So let's manually trigger it. Run workflow. So it has been started. So now you see three job has been started. Though in our workflow we have only one job, but three jobs has been started. One on 3.9, one on 3.10. So zero is missing, but it is actually 3.10, and one is on 3.11. So you will see some error here, and I will tell you why the error is. So first 3.10 is failed. So let's see why 3.10 is failed. So it says it could not find the 3.10 version. Okay, because sometimes we saying 3.10, but sometimes it exists with 3.10 point something, right? So it give us some file, some link. We can click on that link, and we can search for 3.10. So we have the version 3.10.13. So we can use 3.10.13. So that error will going to be resolved by this 3.10.13, which is fine. And now also you see, as soon as one job going to get error, why the other job did not run? Why the other job get cancelled? This job should run, right? And this job also should run. This job also going to cancel. All right. Why this is happen? Because uh, as I told you, we are going to cover strategy matrix and the fast fail. So fail fast, sorry, and not fall fail, like fast fail. It's a fail fast. So fail fast by default is true, and what it will do is, like let me read it for you. Uh, it will apply to the entire matrix if, and it will set to true. GitHub will cancel all in progress job if any of the job in the matrix fail. So we have three job in the matrix. If any of the job in the matrix fail, the remaining is going to be cancelled, but which is wrong, right? Which is wrong ideally. So how we can like overcome this? So we can set this variable to false because by default it is true. So that is also covered. Fail fast. It's not fast fail, it's fail fast. And let me rename the file as well. Okay, added. Okay, now we have to set it a false because by default it's true only. Set fail fast to false. Okay, so let's go to the summary, go to the actions. Now let's try to trigger that. I did not do any change, all right, and still I know it's going to be fail. But now I am at 3.10.13. But I know it's going to fail. I will tell you the reason. This time it's going to fail with a different reason. But I want is if one job going to get failed, the other should not get cancelled because I have set the fail fast to false. All right. So we are going to look into that. So like see, 3.9 going to fail, but still other job did not get cancelled. So in cancel means you see some different symbol, but this time you are able to see like this cross symbol, right? This cross symbol. It means this job is going to fail. Let's see why this job is going to fail. And the reason is because poetry was unable to find the compatible version, which is definitely correct. Why it is correct? Because if you noticed, we are doing the checkout repository. So checkout repository means like it is just doing the git clone. And when we do the git clone, py project terminal is going to be copied. So in the py project terminal, we have by default 3.11. So we have 3.11. All right. So it is going to work for the 3.11, but let's see why it failed for the 3.11. Uh, Okay, so it failed for the 3.11 because of our we designed our test in such a way that one test should fail. So what I can do is because we know we can mention continue on error true. So 3.11 is going to be like run successfully, which is fine. But let me show you. Added continue on error. Let's trigger it again. So all the three jobs running, which is the benefit of the strategy matrix. And because we have added uh, fail fast to false, so if one job is going to fail, the other is not going to be cancelled. It like other job is not going to be cancelled, either it's going to be success. So if one job going to fail, the other did not get cancelled. So one get completed, 3.11 get completed, 3.99 get failed, which is expected. Because why it is going to fail? Because if you notice in the pi project terminal, we have 3.11, but we are testing on 3.9. So which is wrong, right? So we have to add some step. So before installing our dependency, what we have to do is we have to add some extra step. Name override Python version in pyproject.toml. Right. So we need to override Python version in the pyproject.toml. So we need to run because we know we are doing the git checkout repository. So our file like available in our like Ubuntu virtual machine. So we need to run some command, right? So there is a SCD command, SCD Linux command. So SCD is like the Linux utility which is going to like do some transformation on some file, right? Text transformation. So what we have to do is, so we have to we have to use the SCD command to update this thing, to update this thing, right? To update this thing to uh, to Python version, which will come from here, which will come from here. So we will use SCD command, right? And like generally, like what is the update? So we need to like let's suppose whatever we have to update, then by what value we need to update. So actual value is this thing. All right, so we need to update with this value, and in which file we need to update? pyproject.toml. Generally we do that. All right, but there is a like let me just copy paste this command and I will show you, for the syntax is wrong. Yeah, so we need to use SCD minus I, and we have to use single quote, which I forget to add. All right, and after that we need to mention pyproject.toml, which is fine, and we have to use single quote. Now, so like in the regular expression or something, we use this caret symbol because Python is available, could be at many places, could be many places. So we want to replace only that line which is starting with the Python, which is starting with the Python. So that's why we are, which is starting with the Python. So that's why we have to use this caret symbol here. All right. So SCD minus I, which is fine. So caret symbol. Now, so we are saying 3.11, but it could be like any version, right? So today is 3.11 because if yesterday or after a few days it could be something else. Then I have to again update the workflow. So better I can use the regular expression. So instead of 3.11, I can do dot star, right? Now, so is this the end of the file? Yes, definitely. Like because it could be some like there could be in the py project toml, there could be some line. Let's suppose there is some line which is like this, which is like this. Do you want to replace this? No, I don't want to replace this. So I want to replace only this line which starts with the Python and which ends here, right? So that's why we are adding like the dollar symbol. So dollar symbol. Okay. So now we we need to update this to Python equal to. We need to update equal to Python equal to, right? So Python equal to by what value? By what value? So we need to update with automatically whatever the job is going to run 3.9, 3.10, we are going to update with that. So just do that. So that's it. So let me replace one SCD command. Okay. Now it still is going to be fail. Why it is going to fail? Because we are copying the poetry.log as well. So poetry.log as well. All right. So because this poetry.log got generated using Python 3.11. So we need to regenerate the poetry log, or if it is exists, it is going to update. All right. So hopefully it will work now. Added extra step. Let's run it. So all the three jobs has been started because of the strategy matrix, and every job is running in the parallel, which is fine. And let's see. So 3.10 issue we have sorted, because earlier we are facing, okay, it is not able to set up the Python version. Now it's able to set, because we, instead of 3.10, we mentioned 3.10 point like 13. Okay, yeah, one more error basically. So now it is going to give me the error, store the HTML artifacts. Why it is going to give me the error? So it says received known, like the artifact with this name already exists on this workflow, which is fine, because we are uploading our report uh, on with this name, unit test report, not HTML, unit test report. We are uploading with this name, with this artifact. But when one job is going to be run, 3.9, so this get created. When 3.10 is going to be run, it's trying to create, but this already exists. So what I can do is I can create with version. I can create with version. Update artifact name. Let's trigger it manually. Hopefully it should not give this time any error, but let's see. If it will give, we will try to debug it. So all the jobs are running. So this is very useful in like generally in projects, because let's suppose you are building some utility which you are going to publish, and you write your code in 3.11, uh, but you said like this utility is going to work in 3.10, 3.9 version, but before publish that utility you need to test, right? So maybe you can write your workflow, and you can use the strategy metrics to test that utility. So now like everything is going to work. So let me refresh it, and if you scroll down, so our artifacts are available: unit test 3.10.13, unit test report 3.11, unit test report 3.9. All right. So that is the advantage of our like strategy matrix. So we have covered strategy. Strategy is like just a normal keyword which they mention, and they mention we can use the matrix. Strategy matrix, like if we want to run anything on the multiple version, or maybe on the multiple systems, all right, Ubuntu, latest, Windows, or Mac, all right. Along with that, we have covered fail fast, which is like also useful, because we see if one job going to fail, why the other is going to cancel, right? Which is like, which we don't want. All right. So that's it. That's the end of the video. You can also try. Thank you.